How to change being needy and addicted in relationships. You only needy and addicted in relationships not because that person is your soulmate or the only person in the world, your twin flame. You are emotionally addicted. Emotional addiction, as any addiction, comes from being reactive to emotions. You're being reactive to jealousy, to hot and cold games, to insecurity, to fear of abandonment, and you're doing lots of behaviors around that inside of your head and outside of your head. This behavior inside and outside of your head tells the brain that you love engaging with emotions like that and doing behaviors around it. So the brain's like, I'm your brain, your best friend. I see that you love doing behaviors around emotions like jealousy, abandonment, fear of losing your partner. So I want to support you in doing the things that you love. So I'm going to give you more fear of abandonment, more fear of losing your partner. And as you hopefully can tell, this is firing up the pattern and is giving you the emotional roller coaster, the highs and lows, aka the emotional addiction. So over time, because you're spending so much time on fixing these feelings, on trying to get rid of these feelings, on jealousy, on stalking on Instagram, your ex or your partner to see if they're doing good things or bad things, you are creating an entire tornado because the brain's like, oh yeah, let me give you more thoughts so you can go more on Instagram and stalk them on their story. So if you are not a penguin, by now, you should have come to the solution that the problem is the behavior that you're doing inside of your head and outside of your head on the emotions and the thoughts. But if you are a penguin, how is life, sir, in the Arctic? Let me know. Comment down below. Alright, so since I'm not like these other losers on the internet who are throwing around labels like attachment styles so you can get sucked in with your brain to another concept, then you can follow them on their overpriced retreat because they're gonna promise you you're gonna be in secure attachment. I will actually give you the solution that you can practice in this video. All right, so first off, the solution is not a trick or a technique that these loser coaches and gurus are promising you so you can get like the lazy, oh yeah, I'm just paying you money and you just give me the trick, the secret. It is actually a practice. If you're a smart, rational person, you should already know that life is about building skills. Being successful in life is about building skills. You becoming an NBA player if you skilled in playing basketball. You becoming great in business if you skilled like Alex Samozi, but he had to go through a lot to get these skills. So if someone comes to you and is like, you just have to change these astrological numbers and do these affirmations in a certain way to have great relationships, run like Forrest Gump. Or take it. I mean, I'm not forcing anyone to not waste their time, but let's move on. Okay, so the practice is we need to stop the emotional addiction and show the brain another GPS navigation system. So we need to stop being on the reactive engine that's being reactive to emotions and thoughts and doing behaviors around that and step over to the value engine. That is, if you can look at it, very smart, it's not the reactive engine, it's the proactive engine. Because we're teaching the brain now proactively healthy things that we care about. And to do that, we don't have to be perfect. We just want to take up more territory over time. And we take up more territory with our superpower, our focus. This means when those obsessive emotions and thoughts about the people come up, we stop putting our focus on talking back, trying to fix the situation. We do it like Tupac said, we leave the pieces on the floor and move the fuck on, and we go mindfully in the direction of the valued actions. This is a practice. This can only work if you start practicing being okay with being uncomfortable. Squirrels. You know, I believe squirrel dating is way easier. They don't have TikTok. They don't have to share these videos to tell their other squirrel partners to treat each other better. They're just still connected to nature. Look, they're like, you're doing too much, sir. Love is easy. All right, back to business. It means you must be okay with being uncomfortable because the old toxic patterns, the obsessions, are trying to pull you in. The brain is trying for you to go back and react to the patterns because you taught the brain with your constant attention over the past years on these patterns that this is important. And by doing something different, by mindfully acting on your valued actions, the brain's freaking out and it's like, no, you taught us that this is so important. And the brain's like, no, he or she's running into danger. Let's give her or him more uncomfortable thoughts and emotions so they go back to doing the obsessive things of following that person. So this is why it's like a practice. You're like, no brain, we walking right now. No brain, we training at the gym. We're doing chest press right now. No brain, we working on our business right now. That doesn't mean that the brain is not continuously trying to pull you back in by attacking you with all kinds of thoughts and emotions. It just means you're training your focus to just come back. And know that in the beginning it's challenging. It's a practice. It's like going to the gym. Over time, you're getting stronger and stronger. Now, the important part here is to not get flustered by the thoughts. Understand, you cannot control the thoughts that come inside of your head, but you can control if you're talking back to them. This means there's nothing wrong with those thoughts coming inside of your head. They're supposed to come because you've been teaching the brain that you love engaging with them. So now the brain over time is still going to give them to you. So don't make the measure of success how many thoughts are there. And also don't make the measure of success how obsessive you still feel, or how jealous you still feel, or how insecure you still feel. Because if you do that, you're still engaging with the patterns. You want to make the measure of success focusing mindfully on the valued actions and taking up more territory on that engine, because that's how you're teaching the brain that you care about the things you want to spend your time on instead of caring about the patterns. And over time, with that, you're making the patterns inactive. It's like the TikTok algorithm. If you used to watch a lot of videos about knitting, but now you like, oh, I don't want to put my focus on that anymore, and you put a lot of video focus on UFC, I don't know why I came up with that just now, then over time the TikTok algorithm shows you more UFC and less knitting. I think I could have given better examples, but you know what I'm talking about, okay? So you want to proactively set your life up for success by making a schedule where you make the measure of success doing more valued actions that support your life. If you want to learn how to find your valued actions, I created a community that's very poppin'. It's been poppin'. The last 6-7 days, we have over 500 members who want to be on the valued action engine instead of being on the obsessive engine. The community is free, and we're doing weekly free Zoom calls. And in our first Zoom call last week, I did the value garden exercise that was created by Mark Freeman with the group, and now everybody's in the community is posting their value gardens on there, which is great because you get to grow with like-minded people who are not on the emotional addictive engine, which also is the engine that tries to get feelings, suck feelings out of other people and are only in relationships to vent, but don't really care about the well-being of the other people. And these people in our community care about the well-being because they are training to be on the valued action engine. So if you want to join us, just comment community in the comments. With that being said, this was a 9-minute video. Who's even here? I want to hear in the comments. Is there anybody even out there still?